Rick's Corner. Rick's Corner. Welcome to Rick's Corner 2013. This is basically my first show after the first of the year with a guest. I did some monologues, but today I have a bodybuilder who's really, really well known. I've known him a long time. We've done commercials together, films. We've worked out. We've just been friends for a long, long time, and it's my pleasure to present Rich Piana. Rich, thank you for being here, buddy.
For sure.
Okay, we want to get into a lot of stuff, and a lot of the issues are about being positive and being negative. We talked about this because going to the gym and working out takes a lot of mental positive, and being negative won't get you the results you want, and then looking at other people and wishing you were like them and tearing them down is not a real positive way to think as well. And we discussed this. So let's talk about your feelings about how that works.
My feelings are, having a positive mentality is number one. I mean, that's above anything else in the world, is just thinking positive.
Right.
And when it comes to anything in life,
yeah,
you have to believe to achieve, and most people don't think they can actually achieve what it is they're trying to achieve, and therefore they never will. And that's where it comes in, where you get a lot of the hate, and
yep,
people talking bad about whatever, because they know inside that they can't accomplish that. Okay. So it makes them feel better, to hate something that they actually are trying to accomplish, but not getting anywhere.
Well, that's true, and the thing is that this happens in wrestling, it happens in acting, it happens in bodybuilding. I've seen it for years and years. I've done all three. And those who make it in acting, they're always, oh, that guy had a push and he knew somebody. Well, he probably did, but at least he was positive enough to go there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in wrestling. Everybody wants to become a wrestler. They call me, will you train me? They don't have the elements it takes to become that person. They have to develop those elements, and they also have to have inner the thing is the confidence within themselves to excel and have the charisma to become that type of a person. And then when they see somebody who makes it, say, well, I got what he has. And if they're 5'4", they always refer to Rey Mysterio. Well, he made it. Well, he came from a family of wrestlers and he had the drive. Now, bodybuilding is something else. Back in the day, everybody wanted to be Arnold. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Why not be you?
Yeah.
Be the best you can be, because there is an Arnold. No one's ever going to duplicate him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to have role models, but always be yourself at the best you can be. You're not going to be any of those guys, but you can also learn from them.
Yeah.
Now, it's the same thing with you. I mean, you're huge. You've gained a lot over the years,
mm-hmm,
and you've worked hard for it. I see you in the gym. You don't ever miss a day.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, no matter what they want to say, or what you take and what you do and how you eat, you're in that gym every day. You're dedicated.
Yeah, because I love it, so I enjoy it.
It's your lifestyle. It's your passion.
Yeah.
So you can't fault somebody for having this body and this size, saying they didn't work for it, because you have worked for it.
Yeah.
And you had a period where you were pretty sick for a while in the hospital, right?
Yeah. My appendix exploded, and
that's all it was.
Yeah, I could have died. I walked around for 5 days with an exploded appendix.
I know. I heard how bad
the poisons could have killed me, but I guess my body's pretty used to some poisonous materials, so it managed to be okay.
Well, it's a recovery time, and as you get older, the recovery takes longer, and it's just what it is. But your dedication shows what you've achieved. You had a powerful mind. You thought positive. You got back in the gym right after that, and you were back in shape.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a great example is, Arnold's a great example. His mind power was just unbelievable, and that's what I believe why he accomplished everything he did.
It is.
In bodybuilding, it wasn't his genetics.
Right.
It wasn't superior genetics. I mean, Sergio Oliva, these guys, destroyed him genetically.
Yeah, they did.
But it was the mind, and him using his mind outside the box.
Yes.
He shows up at a contest, and not only is he trying to make his body the best it can be, he's doing everything he can possible to win the show.
Right.
The Sergio Oliva story where the backdrop was white, and Arnold threw a fit and said, I want to change that backdrop. I want it to be black. And people are like, well, why does he want the backdrop changed? They didn't understand.
Sure.
So they changed it black. Sergio Oliva came out. Where's Sergio?
Exactly.
Arnold stood out.
Yeah.
Nice and tan.
Yeah.
Arnold won. I mean, that's just, his mentality.
That's how he thinks.
Whatever it takes to win.
That's how he thinks. But the other thing is that he took three things that are difficult to do. He took bodybuilding. He became the best. He took acting. He wasn't the best actor, but he became the biggest box office.
Terrible actor, but look what he did.
Yeah.
It just shows.
And then he became a governor.
Yeah.
A foreigner.
Yeah.
Come on, that's unheard of.
Yeah,
I mean, to be able to do three things in excess like that. And now he's back in the box office again. I hear this newest movie is the best one yet.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He is amazing. No matter what you say about him, he's a good guy. I mean, he's had a bad rap for his lifestyle and things he's done, but we've all been there and done that. We're men, and that's what we do, you know?
Yeah, but you have to give him credit for his accomplishments regardless.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just amazing what he's accomplished.
Absolutely. Now, those days, you're a little younger than to remember a lot about the 70s, but that bodybuilding back then, a lot of you guys ask about this all the time, was really basic stuff. You worked your body parts, 3 or 4 sets, you worked a max, and you ate a high-protein diet, low carb, and that's how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that?
Oh, yeah.
And what do you think about the old school style?
I think it was great. I think old school was a lot better than what we're doing now. I mean, I think I've talked about it before, is, you know, Arnold trained twice a day, 2 to 3 hours each session.
Yes.
And now, you know, we're training 45 minutes to an hour, and we're doing cardio. You know, back then we didn't do cardio because we trained our asses off. We didn't need to do cardio.
Okay.
And, you know, I call it laziness. People call it overtraining. And I believe that there is no overtraining. You know, you get in there and I just go to town. You know, there's no such thing as overtraining. As long as you're eating enough and sleeping enough and believing that what you're doing is right, that's most important.
Exactly.
You have to believe what you're doing is the right way. Most people are doing what they're doing and they're not sure. They're like, oh, maybe I should be doing this. Maybe I should do that. So their mind isn't there. You have to be 100% sure that what you're doing is the right way and you're going to get results from it.
That's exactly right.
And you will.
That's exactly right. And the old Golds was the place to do it back then. But I have to pause for 1 second. We'll be right back. Don't forget to buy your original Gold Gym t-shirt with my signature and the World Gym Gorilla with my signature at bodybuilding.com. Buy it now before they run out. All right, we're back. And the thing I wanted to say about back then in the day is that I don't remember overtraining. And there are symptoms of overtraining, but I think, like you said, if you get enough rest and you get the right foods and your body recovers, then you're not overtrained. Mm-hmm. I noticed today you train a lot lighter than you used to.
Yes, I do. Just, you know, getting older.
Yeah, and me too.
I'm getting older, getting smarter.
Yeah,
you know.
And me too. Because I do have injuries. My injuries are mostly from wrestling, but then again, heavy lifting back in the day did hurt my joints. Did it bother your joints at all?
Yeah. I was always elbows, shoulders, always in pain.
Still?
No, I'm great. I'm fine.
How'd you bypass that?
Training light. You know, high reps. You know, I mean, it's light, you know, for me, but maybe not light to everyone else. But compared to what I used to when I was 18, I was doing way heavier weight than I am now.
Yeah, I was too. There's no question about it.
And it was just stupid lifting. It was all about ego and trying to impress everyone around me.
Yeah.
You know?
And there's a lot of guys in the gym, you guys out there do that too. You try to lift heavy. I mean, I see you and by both of you, a lot of guys in Golds lifting heavy and going and not doing correct exercises, and none of them have any bodies, and they don't get any shape or size out of it.
Yeah.
I've seen guys on the leg press with 800 pounds in there got skinny legs. Something's wrong.
Leg press is the biggest joke in the world.
I know.
I mean, you know, it's every guy loads the whole thing up, gets in there and does half reps, you know, and it's like, I mean, a guy my size can't do full range of motion on leg press. It's impossible.
I know.
So there's no point in even doing a leg press. It's just stupid.
You think you're better off with squats and hacks?
Yeah, I mean, anyone over 225, 230 doing leg press is just stupid. It's pointless. You can't get full range.
No,
it's just about showing off. You know.
Ken Waller did leg press, but he did the one where you lied flat. You don't see it anymore.
Oh yeah.
And he put his hands here, and he went so heavy one day he cracked his rib when he brought it down.
Wow. Yeah. Well, then he was going full range.
He was going full range. Yeah. And leg press, if you do go full range, can work. Now I've torn both quads, so for me to do hack and I need knee replacement. I mean squat. I can't squat. I can't even get up from a chair unless I use this leg.
Yeah.
But I tried some hacks the other day, and I actually felt them pretty good. And then the lying leg press, if I vision a squat and I arch my back a certain way, it feels like a squat to me. So as we get older, we have to bypass some things like that. And then you got extensions and curls and all that goes along with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, most guys are concerned with arm size. And what do you think is probably the best arm workout to gain size? Is it reps, or is it heavy, light reps, or light? Or no reps, or what?
My opinion is always best to mix it up, confuse the body. I mean, the body gets used to whatever you throw at it.
It does.
So you got to definitely always mix everything up. You know, you don't go in the gym and start with barbell curls every single bicep workout.
No, I know.
You know, you read the magazine, yeah, that's the best mass builder, but that doesn't mean you start with it every workout. Right. You know, and that's what a lot of people do. They get in a certain groove, and you know, for back, okay, rows is best, so they hit rows every workout, and you have to constantly just trick the body.
All the time. And how about
all the time? And that's true with everything. That's true with supplements. That's true with food.
That was my next question.
Anything you do on a regular basis, your body adjusts. You do a half an hour cardio every morning. When you wake up, your body adjusts to it, and it's not going to work as well.
Right.
You know, why don't you get up and do an hour? Next day, do nothing.
Right.
You know, next day, do 20 minutes of high impact.
Right.
Next day, you know, and mix it up. That's where you're going to get the results.
Well, we were talking about back in the day, we didn't do cardio because we didn't have any machines. There was no bicycles and treadmills or Stairmasters and all that. Basically, we worked off a low-carb diet.
Yeah.
And I've had people ask me, how'd you have the energy to train with no carbs? I don't know how we did, but we did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, everyone, I mean, I do fine on no carbs. Everyone's different. For me, my body does fine on 0 carbs. I can go weeks without any carbs.
Do you eat any junk?
Oh, all the time.
That's carbs.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about what my body can do is not necessarily what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I can go without carbs. Do I? No.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
No, and you know, as you get older, and I notice it too, I eat a cookie here and there, and I come home, look in the mirror, and I look like I'm 4 months pregnant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
is that psychological, though, or is that really happening?
No, I look like I'm 4 months pregnant. And it's just an age factor because the belly fat seems to hold on to you more as you get older. So then I got to really cut my carbs, and I did add some more cardio, which I never did years ago, and I actually feel better by doing that.
Yeah.
But the diet, you know, it's just much better to have a good diet. And a lot of these guys write in and they say, no, the diet means nothing. I can eat once a day, and that's BS.
Yeah.
You got to eat.
Yeah.
You've got to eat.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've got to eat enough protein. Do you figure 1 gram per pound of body weight?
I would say a little more. I probably do 1.5 grams. I mean, there's people that do 2.5 grams. You know, they're just obsessed with putting on size. But I honestly, over the years, have, in my opinion, felt like protein was a little overrated. I mean, when I was eating, you know, 500 grams a day, that was just not necessary.
It's a lot, yeah.
It really wouldn't have made a difference if I ate 300 or 500. I mean, that's what I've become to believe through my experiences.
And and that can be stored as fat.
Yeah, and also it's, you know, it's not the healthiest thing.
No, it's not good for your kidneys as well.
That's the main thing, you know, eating all that red meat and, you know, it's going to make you big, but
yeah, but the red meat, if you eat lean, you're pretty good with that.
Yeah.
All right. I want to pause here for a minute, and then I want to come back and I want to talk about a subject that everybody thinks is taboo.
What could that be?
I have no idea. All right, we're back, and I want to get into the subject of steroids. And we got to talk openly about this because people want to know what's right and what's wrong, and no one wants to talk about steroids. Look, they've been around forever. Back in the day, we had access to D-ball, Deca, Anavar, Winstrol, and Test. That's basically all we had. Growth hormone really wasn't around very much. I think it was in Germany, and anything beyond that we just didn't have access to. And I think that's one of the reasons we were able to keep our waist so small as today. I mean, you have a small waist, but a lot of guys don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're distended out there from taking a lot of stuff that they take. Don't you believe?
Yeah.
And what do you think the most common thing is today that people take?
To make their stomach larger?
Just to get size.
Oh, I mean, the main thing is everyone follows everybody else.
Yes.
Everyone's a follower.
Right.
And no one can think for themselves and come up with what's best for them.
Right.
You know, constantly people ask me, what do you take? You know, well, what I take doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing for you.
No.
So I mean,
but what, like you said, what works for you may not work for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, it's trial and error, and I think about things very logically. I logically think about things and come up with my own opinion.
Right.
And it seems like a lot of people just, you know, go on the internet.
Yeah.
And read and follow, you know, and who knows, a 15-year-old could have wrote that.
And they could buy stuff on the internet that's fake.
Yeah, exactly.
And it happens a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
What about your GH?
What about it?
Do you think it works?
It does work, yeah. I mean, I found that it works differently on different people, you know, and my theory on that is if you have naturally high growth hormone levels, you're not going to get the results of someone who has naturally low growth hormone levels. Same with creatine. You know, someone that eats a lot of red meat takes creatine, they don't notice anything because they have a lot of creatine already in their diet.
Oh, already in the diet.
Someone who's a vegetarian, doesn't eat meat, eats creatine, they get huge results because their body has never had creatine, or at least not for years. Same with growth hormone. So I've seen people get incredible results, and I've seen people get zero.
Yeah.
You know, and there's also the side effects. You know, the side effects are different for everyone.
And what are the side effects most common?
You know, the organ growth.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as, you know, the intestines growing and having the big pregnant belly.
Yeah.
Everyone's different. Some people can take it and get away with it, and others just, you know, within a year. Whew.
Well, it's like a doctor. He doesn't give every patient the same medicine because it doesn't work on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The growth hormone, you have to take, I don't want to say quite a bit, but you can't do minimal on that, and then it gets very costly.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be kind of have money to use it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the sport in general is very expensive.
Bodybuilding is a very costly sport.
Very expensive.
You end up spending more money you'll ever make back.
That's for damn sure.
What about insulin?
You know, insulin's used. I mean, it's unbelievable how it's being used nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, people are just taking, you know, all day long. You know, taking 6-7 shots a day. It's just out of control.
It's out of control. You have to have enough calories to go with it, right?
Yeah, you know, and you know the thing is you know, everything's going to have its costs.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't think about that, and it's just gotten. I mean, I've used insulin.
Yeah.
I no longer use it. I gained a lot of water weight from it.
I remember you telling me about a year ago. You said I don't use it anymore. I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I mess around with it a little bit, just like on carb loading and stuff, getting
Yeah.
ready for, you know, events or shows but as far as, you know, it just puts on a lot of water. If you time it right and, you know, you take the diuretic and you load up on insulin, you can fill your muscles up and get, you know, make an extreme difference in a couple days.
Right.
With it. But as far as, you know, long-term, you know, muscle growth and so forth, for me, I didn't really think it was that great.
And it's dangerous.
Yeah, and it's dangerous.
You can get diabetes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a lot of things, you know, you could die. I mean, if you don't,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have, you know, had their problems where.
You know, back in the 80s, I had taken belastirone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not around anymore.
No.
But that stuff worked.
Yeah.
Really well. A guy named Felicity, I believe it was. Feliciano, Felicity.
Yeah, no one really knew exactly what was in it.
No one knew. I knew there were
things.
28.5 Anavar ground in it because you could see it in there. And he had that. Then he had nordiethylene 1 and 2. Do you remember those?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think you would, but they work too. Then they had one, and Steve Davis used to take this. It was a fat burner. It raised your body temperature to 105, called Hexalon.
Mm-hmm.
Side effect was death. And people were taking that. They would risk anything to be big.
Yeah.
You know how it is today. Everybody wants to be huge. I find that as I get older, I'd rather be leaner and more fit at my age and carrying around a lot of weight because it's hard on my knees, and I don't think it's healthy for somebody my age to be that big anymore. People say, oh, you were big back in the day. Well, yeah, I've been there, done that. I don't have to improve anymore. It's not a big deal to me.
Yeah.
But nowadays, there are shortcuts as well. And one thing I want to talk about is synthol, because there's a lot of guys using synthol,
Mm-hmm.
and it works, apparently.
It will make your muscles bigger, but visually you can tell right away,
Yeah.
you know, if someone's using it, unless, you know, in my opinion, the only purpose really is right before a show, like the night before a show or the morning of a show. You can add significant size and roundness and fullness to the muscle without losing the hardness or the cuts. But
Okay.
as the days go on, you know,
Yeah.
you can see what's going on.
I've seen people that we both know in the gym that use it, and I noticed that they don't inject it properly because they have lumps in different areas.
Yeah.
It looks lumpy. It doesn't look really good. So, I mean, it's not like something I'd ever want to do. So, in general, what would you suggest to people today watching about getting size and getting ripped and getting in good shape as far as training?
Training with...
As a bodybuilder, I mean, as far as their training, their diet, and their supplements, and as far as doing drugs, yes or no?
well, that's a personal choice people have to make for themselves.
I understand, but
Yeah.
you have an opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that really boggles my mind is everyone has different genetics, and I recently put a post up somewhere about this subject matter where there's people with genetics that actually can get big without steroids. They are out there.
Yes.
And people will just not, they just cannot believe that because they can't do it. A lot of
Exactly.
people, if I can't do it, nobody can. It's impossible.
Right.
You know, rather than realizing that, I have friends and I know people who have gotten huge not on steroids. Now, I take steroids, so why would I be wanting to?
Yeah.
It's making me look bad to
Yeah.
admit there's guys that can get my size without steroids. But when I
Exactly.
say that, people say impossible. There's no way, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, an example, since this is an open
Yeah.
show, an example to that theory is there's guys with 2-inch dicks and
Yeah.
guys with 12-inch dicks.
I'd like to think of myself as a 12.
So, you know, the 2, is he going to look at the 12 and say, well, that's fake. There's no way that's real. No,
Exactly.
it's fucking real.
Exactly.
Just because you have a 2 doesn't mean he doesn't have a 12. And it's the same
Exactly.
with a guy that's 250 pounds and no steroids and you're 190 with steroids.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, he's on steroids. You can't say that
No.
because it is possible. Genetics play a huge role in everything.
And then one more thing I want to say is people on the street that don't train, the first thing they say to you, you don't take steroids, do you? Because the news says it's bad for you. Well, the news is usually off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they take things out of context of people dying from steroids. In your career and in my career, I've never known one person ever die from steroids.
Yeah, there's no documented case.
No,
You know, and
at
as we
all.
know, 20 aspirin will kill you.
And-
20 Anadrol 50 will
Right.
do nothing.
Right.
So, you know.
And there's a lady model who choked on water and died because she drank too much water. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
And
no,
so-
too much water can kill you very easily. I know after a contest I had a problem. I was dehydrated, and I started drinking, and I just couldn't stop, and I actually passed out.
From the water?
Yeah, I just passed out. It was
amazing.
crazy. Yeah, it's.
Well, I think we touched on this pretty well, and I hope you guys out there appreciate Rich coming in and talking about this, because this is open. He's being honest about it. The man trains hard. He admits to taking things, and it's just the way it is. And it's your choice for what you want to do, right?
Yeah, and one thing I could add to that, to give something to people to brainstorm a little bit about, is always think about you're constantly trying to trick the body. So, if you're taking whatever it is, if you're constantly tricking the body's going to continue to get results. So if you're taking this, and this for 3 months straight, you're going to get results for about 4 weeks.
Right.
The other 2 months is a waste of time, waste of money, and you're hurting your body for no reason.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
It's logic. It's thinking about things logically and realizing that, what if I do this and I switch this around, and you're tricking the body is where you get the best results. And I know nobody that does that. People write a 3-month cycle, start with this, pyramid up, pyramid down. Everybody does that.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it. And you've seen people in the gym come in for years and do the same workout.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's just logic.
Totally. Joe Weider, I'll close with it, because Joe Weider said once he says, you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and perform a sneak attack on your muscles and scare them into growing. And Arnold, I used to laugh about that, because in theory, he was right.
Yeah.
Who's going to work out at 2 in the morning, but your muscles are going to be shocked and they're going to respond, right?
Yeah, you got to trick the body.
Yes, you do.
Very important.
Well, where can we find you on the internet? Because people are going to want to be in touch with you.
Facebook's probably the best place, just Rich Piana.
Okay.
Send me a private message, and, I'll eventually answer you.
In about a week. Do you have a Twitter?
You know what? I don't have Twitter.
You should. Definitely.
I should.
You got to do this in between your naps.
Yeah.
But I think what you found best in between naps is rest.
Exactly. You got to rest to grow, right? A good bodybuilder is a lazy bodybuilder.
Exactly. And there's a lot of them.
But I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't compete.
No, I know you don't.
So this is no longer a bodybuilder.
This is your love, and you do appearances, and people know you, and
Exactly.
you've made yourself a public figure over this, and it's okay. You're making a good statement for bodybuilding. And you speak the truth, and I think you're a great guy. I always have, and I respect your opinions, and you've been very, very honest with everybody. You're not hiding anything, and that's what's good about you.
Thank you.
And you have a lot of friends because of that.
Yeah.
You're going to have more friends now.
Yeah.
All right, so for you people who want to also follow wrestling, go to rickscorner.com and click on the AfterBuzz TV, because that's where I do all my wrestling shows, all the videos, and we talk about SmackDown and old school wrestling. It's rickscorner.com on the AfterBuzz link. You'll see it right here up in front of you. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Rick Drasin, and also on rickdrasin.com and rickscorner.com. And this has been really a pleasure having you here, and I want to just say anytime you want to come back, you're welcome.
Great.
Thanks, Rich.
All right, thanks, Rick.
Say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time. We'll bring some more at you.
It's rickdrasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.